Hey there. Thank you for joining me on this reflection on actualizing our authentic selves. And so I want to talk about what that means to me and how I think about that process, right? So I see my authentic self as the me that I am when I'm in present moment, when I've really dropped in to just being here now, right? Like Ram Dass always says, be here now. And and that is simple and also can feel pretty complex or like abstract, right? But we've all experienced it. We've all like been in the zone, and that's just purely being in present moment and flowing from one moment to the next with an awareness of what you're feeling, what your emotional content is, what your spiritual experience is, what your mind is offering in terms of thoughts, what's in your body, and just being fully in the experience of you. And that is an actualized self. And so I think of the practice of stepping into that as something that we practice. And like anything that we practice, it takes time. I love the analogy of riding a bike, right? When we learn to ride a bike, we, we when I learned to ride a bike, I fell a lot. and and then I stopped falling, and eventually I took trips with bikes and I loved it, and it was easy, and now I don't ride bikes as much, but I'm still able to get on and ride, and the more I ride, the better I get at it again. And because it's a skill that I gained at one point, getting better at it now is a faster thing. Because to some extent, my body, my mind, and my spirit all remember what it feels like, what the entire experience of just being on a bike and riding is. And that's where practicing actualizing our authentic selves can take us. So I think about it as like kind of falling in a series. So the first step is to uncover our inroads. At any moment, we're each available for something different, right? Like on a particular day, I might be ready to stretch through some tension that I'm experiencing in my body, and stretching through that tension might initiate some emotional or mental releases and relaxation. And probably it will, right? Because if it happens in one area, it happens in the other areas too. Um, but that physical experience, that stretching, and being present with my body and where it's at, could be my inroad on that day. On a different day, it might be that my language is my inroad. The way that noticing my internal language, my external language, the thoughts that I'm having, right? All of that is part of the language that we use to tell a story about ourselves. And we'll share that story um, with other people to some extent, and with ourselves always, often unintentionally, right? Like we're just having thoughts about our experience. And and on some days, that might be the best way to access your next step. It might be what feels easiest in that moment. And there's nothing wrong or better about starting with one of these. On any given day, what we're available for shifts. It's different because our inner resources are different. Maybe we didn't sleep, maybe we didn't eat enough, maybe we have something really intense happening, like a pandemic, or maybe whatever, right? And any one of those can shift our perspective, shift our starting place. Another place that might be the starting place on a given day might be an exploration of emotions stored in the body, right? Those emotions that we didn't have time to practice or to process when they first rose up in us. And so they got stored kind of as a micro trauma that we're still carrying around. And those stored emotions make us more available to react to specific stimulus or specific catalyst or someone's behavior, right, on a given day because our inner resources. And and each of these is a beautiful avenue to explore into self, to stand with and get really present with. And and so I invite you to just be gentle with yourself, to show up and support yourself with love. And when you notice or when you choose, when you feel like you would like to step more into yourself, drop more into present moment, just check in with yourself and explore what would feel like an easy change right now. Could I stretch? Could I practice kindness to myself today? Could I meditate and release some emotion? Could I allow myself to scream and do like a rage exercise where I'm having a pillow fight and just letting out some aggression? Any one of those is okay. Wherever you are right now, it's the perfect starting place to get to where you want to be. And however you feel right now, it's okay. Simply allow it. Your feelings are your feelings, and giving yourself permission to have them will support you in feeling more like yourself. I'd love to hear about your experiences with self-growth. So please leave me a comment below about a time that you really were able to identify what felt easy and to move forward from that place. I love hearing those kinds of things. And be sure to like and subscribe so you can get more notifications and book an appointment with me if you'd like. I love you. I love me. I love us. I'll see you soon.